Hello guys, Isaiah Jacob Scott here, and I've got a quick recap of what happened last week, the go-home week, before Instant Warfare. So we're starting off on the WKW side, where of course Kyle Noble's saying about how this title's mine, I deserve it to be mine. Hey Cyrus, I've got a 99 infinity chance of beating Triple H at the Hell in a Cell match. And then I'm coming for your title, so you really can't do anything about it. Enjoy your last days as champion. And, yeah. I still think something's going to happen to Noble at Instant Warfare. At least that's what I'd like to happen. Because we all know how he's going to have an iron grip on that title if he becomes a champ again. So then we get on to our first match of the card, which is Cyrus, right after that promo, taking on Roderick's... Wait, Roderick Strong? I thought he left WKW. I guess now that he's a member of the Diamond Mine, I guess maybe that's changed. Oh, fuck. Does that mean Russ Taylor and Hideki Suzuki are coming here too? I don't know. Anyway, this was actually a quick match. It was almost a squash even. I don't recall Roderick getting any amount of offense on Cyrus, and Cyrus easily gets him with the seppuku splash for the 1, 2, the 3. Well, I'm hoping Cyrus can go up against two people if Noble wins, because I'm sure he can go up against his scheduled opponent, Eric Black. Let's see. The second match that happened was number 2 of the Vigilantes taking on Happy Call. Hey, what do you know? It seems that on WKW, the Vigilantes actually do face other people. My friend Sky is still not impressed. Anyway, Happy Cole was able to actually put number 2 in a bit of a bad spot at first, even dropping him with a little apron DDT. It seems to happen to him quite a bit, I've noticed. Happy Cole even hits the brainbuster over his knee, but after a hard choke slam to the outside, Happy Cole gets rolled back in, and number 2 is able to hit his finisher. 1, 2, 3. Number 2 of the Vigilantes is walking away the winner. Now the third match saw Arya Davari taking on the return of Greg the Meadowhead. And Greg got a quick win in a squash match even. Yeah, Arya tried to trip up Greg, but Greg immediately hit the Greg of Days for the victory. That's all I gotta say. So then the fourth match was Shelton Benjamin taking on Larry. And I will admit, this was a pretty good match. They were both, hanging out, just beating the crap out of each other. And although Shelton actually hesitated when he had Larry in a bad spot, Larry didn't after Shelton got countered from the pay dirt attempt, and Larry was able to drop him into the Rock Lobster Future Shock for the 1, 2, 3. Larry is taking down Shelton, and I really think Larry's new streak is only just building. That takes us to arguably match of the night. That is Tyler Bate, big strong boy, taking on Jay Porter. And these guys were just wrecking each other's shit. I mean, wow. Big uppercuts from both members and flying knees from Jay Porter. Only to be countered with the raised fist shot, bop and bang by Tyler Bate. I mean, they really put in quite a beatdown on each other. But it's the finish that got everyone's attention and what made my friend Leo Coleslaw almost shit himself. And that was Tyler Bate was able to hit the Tyler Driver 97. He went for the pin, got 1, got 2, and right before the ref's hand hit a third time, Jay Porter blocked the ref's hand and rolled himself forward, so Tyler was pinned, and the ref actually managed to count a 3 on that. So, wow, Tyler Bate has got to be upset by that. Let me tell you one thing. Whew. The sixth match that happened was Emcon taking on number 1 of the Vigilantes. And this was actually a pretty good match. They both weighed roughly around the same. One member of pretty much the 2 best teams across the whole division. And wow, The finish was pretty impressive, though. Number one was looking for that hip toss Falcon arrow of his. Emcon blocked it and gave him a toss. And then he managed to just suicide dive to the outside to take out number one. And number one tosses Emcon to the barricade, drops him with that little Falcon arrow, tries to run into the ring, but he cost himself. It was a draw, but that is the first time any member of the Vigilantes since it was formed took a loss. And I'd have to say, that's actually pretty impressive. Now the final match of WKW, this being a good old-fashioned non-title match. This was where Scormageddon was going up against Kobashi. Now, Scormageddon already has to worry about Happy Cole, Bebe, and Infamous at Instant Warfare. So he knows what stakes he's up against. However, something pretty interesting happened. Right at the end, when Scormageddon was looking for the Deep Six, Kino actually managed to counter it and then hits the knee of the week for the win. I guess that means the only way for this match to be fair is that Scormageddon's match at Instant Warfare is now a fatal four-way match, and Extreme Rules still apply. This is going to be a cluster of fuck. But let's move on to WDW now, shall we? The first match was Tavin going up against Kevin Alpha, and I don't think they've ever faced each other before. And this was a very good match. Alpha was showing how he belongs in the company with that backslide driver of his. Now, something weird happened though, and David Spencer was going to have a talking to Kevin Alpha about it. Tavin was put up on the front turnbuckle, and right when the referee started counting, I think against Alpha, Alpha just turned and Pele kicked the ref. Like, what the hell, Kevin? The ref didn't do anything, he's just counting you. Lay off in the corner. And that ended up costing Kevin Alpha quite a bit, because Tavin was looking for that little leg lock of his, and he managed to get it. And Kevin Alpha was looking like he was going to tap out. And the ref said, no, fuck you, you tapped out. Tavin is your winner. The second match that happened were the Street Profits, Angelo, Dawkins, and Montaz Ford. And I think Ford is still kind of nursing an injury, so he didn't get much action. Taking on Leo Carr and Zinda Haku. Always good to have those two guys out. And this was a relatively quick match. The only noteworthy part of this match was the finish, where Leo Carr and Zinda Haku, they dropped the anchor on Angelo Dawkins. 1, 2, and 3. Simple as that. Third match that happened was Tim Case, guy who's been wrestling in Germany since 2002, going up against Hayate of the Mob with Cameron Rose by his side. I guess maybe Hayate is tired of Cameron putting Isaac over, so he's saying, you know what, I'm going to be the main judge of putting overness. So, follow my lead, Cameron. Now, Tim was able to resist Hayate's speed quite a bit, but Hayate was still able to answer for a few of Tim's slower moves. And right at the very end, it looked like that Hayate was going to have to resort to using that combo to put Case over, because Hayate was at a crossroads of, do I put this guy over or do I not? So he hits him with a standard power bomb, with the whole judgment being that if he kicks out and Hayate goes into that move, then Case will be put over. Case didn't kick out. Hayate wins, so I guess they were almost ready to put Tim Case over, but it appears that is not the case, I'm afraid. Sorry, Tim. So then we got a series of non-title matches. The first one being... Wait, no, don't tell me. It's that one, isn't it? It's always this one. Wild Soldiers Vigilantes, you know how the story goes. But there was almost a twist to this story. See, for whatever reason, number one doesn't always seem to be able to hit that little Falcon arrow of his on the first try. So right at the very end, he gets reversed by Billy Wildside, And then Wildside manages to hit him with a low reverse power driver. And it got to the point where if it weren't for number 2 running in, the Wild Soldiers actually would have gotten a win here. But nope. Number 2 broke it up, and then number 1 was able to hit his move onto Billy Wildside. 1, 2, 3. I mean, come on. At this point, it's like we already know who's going to win here. That's one qualm I have with the way Mr. Davis is booking. Why do you need to show them being the same team 8 times a month? I mean, come on. We already know they're going to be a champion for the next 10 years, alright? Alright, we're good. That led to another non-title match. This time, Gabriel Pierce his match against Owashi Hayabusha of the Lucha Liberation. So I guess Psychosis has the night off. Anyway, Gabriel Pierce was able to try to bring him out of offense, even hitting the critical error on his opponent. He tried to go for it one too many times though, and Owashi was able to counter out of the hold by arm dragging him while he was being raised up. He was able to hit quite a fancy standing jumping maneuver and an Owashi driver before heading up top and finishing things off with a shooting star press. Owashi Hayabusha is your winner, which means I think the only way we're going to settle this, I got word from Mr. Spencer right after the show. This is how that title is going to be held. And hold on, a cat is trying to get into my office. Meow. Meow. Okay. Anyway, what Mr. Spencer wants to do is that between Gabriel Pierce and The Voice, whoever wins that match at Instant Warfare, they will actually face Owashi Hayabusha at Wolfmania, and then whoever wins that match will face Kai Cassidy. So, wow, this is going to be great. And the final match to talk about for what happened this week is yet another chapter in good old Gavin Watkins versus Chris Bay. And yet again, these guys brought it to a freaking 5-star match. Now, the only thing though was that for whatever reason towards the end, Watkins was really starting to lose his cool and start flailing about wildly. Chris Bay didn't take too kindly to that, so he dropped him with a reverse roundhouse spinning kick, went up top, hit the 20-18 splash, and that is where Chris got the win. So I think this might have been the end to the Chris Bay-Gavin Watkins rivalry, but I'm just going to have to wait and see after Instant Warfare. And that has been my recap for this week. Now, I'm told that the pre-show for Instant Warfare will be Thursday, and Friday will be Instant Warfare in itself. But don't expect a recap until Saturday, because I will be spending Friday back inside a crowded Japanese market. So, Icy Hot Jacob Scott saying, feel the fire, fear the cold, most importantly, have a good night.